In this video, I'm going to be comparing the brand new Pixel 9 Pro XL to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, as this was heavily requested by you guys in the community post. And if you want to be part of us, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel and you're in. So yeah, at the time you're watching this video, it has been 2 weeks with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and looking at it side by side with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, Apple just might be in trouble. So let's get into it. Hey guys, my name is Coinsola, but you can call me KJ. So one of the few things that you notice when you put these phones side by side is how similar they look. There have been many times in the last week where I picked up the iPhone thinking it was the Pixel. And I think the design for Google was very deliberate. I think the idea to make this square shaped with aluminum rails was good because without a doubt, this is one of the best phones to use for an extended period of time. It weighs 221 grams, which is the same size as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so it's not the heaviest phone around. The back of the phone is glass, giving it more durability than the Pixel 8 Pro while also having a soft matte finish. Also new is a redesign of the camera placement. It's thicker, more protruding, and honestly, I kind of love that Google does this with all their phones. Now, even though, say, the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 9 are in the same pixel brackets, you can still tell them apart very easily. Now, in a world where the colors of smartphones are becoming more and more washed out, almost giving that minimalistic vibe, the Pixels take a more colorful approach. The Pro phones come in 4 colors, the usual black and white, then they added hazel from the Pixel 8, and a new color called rose quartz, which is like a variation of the color pink. Now, the better color choices, in my humble opinion, is the white and the hazel, which I both have in the studio. It also still has that temperature sensor that I have not used in over a year on the Pixel 8 Pro. I noticed myself using it this time around. The right side has the power button and the volume button as usual. Then at the bottom, we have a single USB Type-C port that supports up to 45-watt charging, but we'll get into the battery specs in a bit. Now, while on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the design has remained arguably the same since the 11 Pro Max that came out in 2019. Yeah, it's been a while, but there are some hardware changes that are really good. Now, the first is the action button that is essentially a shortcut to open apps on your phone. I mapped mine to always open the camera, which makes a lot of sense for me because I find myself just taking pictures and videos every time I go out. Now, the second physical change is moving away from the stainless steel build to a titanium build. And if you're asking what the difference is, for the iPhone or for the Pixel, it just makes the iPhone a lot lighter and arguably more durable. Arguably. For example, the 14 Pro Max was about 240 grams with a stainless steel frame, and it felt like you were holding a brick and was very, very uncomfortable. But overall, there isn't really anything new with the hardware design of the 15 Pro Max. Which then brings me to which of these phones has the better design. This, of course, is very subjective, and that couldn't be more clear than my comment section. Some people like the 15 Pro Max, others like the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I personally will go for the Pixel 9 Pro XL. The new camera design just sits well with me, and overall it just feels much more comfortable than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. One thing I know that is not subjective is the display, and I think Google did a madness with the displays for 2024. So the 9 Pro XL is a 6.8-inch screen with a super AXRED display, and adjustable refresh rates that goes from 1 to 120 with a peak brightness as high as 3000 nits. Yeah, 3000 nits, easily making this one of the brightest phones in the industry. When compared with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, this only goes as high as 2000 nits. So you're going to get more bang for your buck when you're outside in direct sunlight on your Pixel 9 Pro XL than the iPhone 15 Pro Max. What differentiates them though is how you unlock the phone. The 9 Pro XL has 2 ways to unlock your phone, and that is a fingerprint scanner and of course face unlock. The fingerprint scanner is now an ultrasonic fingerprint reader, and that is the same thing on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, so you're getting a more secure and faster way to enter your phone without any or little resistance. Face ID is still good, and there is that question of which is faster between Face ID and the fingerprint sensor. And I believe the fingerprint sensor will always be faster because you can open it without even looking at your phone, whereas Face ID requires your entire face. But at the end of the day, it is just down to what you prefer. And what I would prefer is if you guys subscribe to the channel. The goal for the year is 30,000 subs. So, get your boy there so we can celebrate at the end of the year. Okay, let's talk about the battery life. And with the Pixel 9 Pro XL, there is an improvement from when I unboxed this phone 2 weeks ago till today. Because 2 weeks ago, at first, it was giving me good battery life, 7 hours of screen on time. And 2 weeks later, it is still going strong and even adding some more hours to my day. I still get my 7 to 8 hours, and sometimes I've gotten even more depending on what I was using. The 15 Pro Max, in my opinion, has the better battery, even though it is a smaller battery capacity. Now, I got more screen time in my daily use, and I mean, these were times where I was shooting videos or taking pictures, but both are good. But at the end of the day, the 15 Pro Max will just give you better battery. My theory usually is a good battery life has to do with software optimizations rather than just the battery size. So with that being said, let's talk about the performance. The new Pixels are powered by the new Tensor G4, which Google has said is 20% faster when you're web browsing and 17% faster when you're opening apps, which is true. It does feel fast when scrolling through from app to app, and when scrolling, it feels smooth as ever thanks to the integration with the Pixel experience. They also increased the RAM this time around to about 16 gigs of RAM, which helps with RAM management and apps opening and closing and all that good stuff. So a question I usually get is which is better in terms of raw performance, and I don't really like using benchmark scores because they do not tell the full story. Of course, if you're looking for raw power, then the A17 Pro is ahead of the Pixel. The Pixel, on the other hand, if you're really looking at it critically, they still have a few issues that were on the Pixel 8 Pro. Like for example, when you're taking pictures and play mobile games, you see the difference between phones instantly. But software optimization with the Pixel experience makes this one of the fastest phones you can use. Did you also notice in the keynotes they never compared the Tensor G4 to the iPhone or the S24's performance because they know for a fact it doesn't even come close. And I think that may affect Tensor G4 in terms of long-term performance. However, both Apple and Google have their respective AI functions with Apple Intelligence and Gemini Nano. Now, while Apple Intelligence is not fully out to the public, I can't really give a breakdown on its features because I haven't tested them out yet, but they have the basic AI features like, your rewriting tool or your summarizing tool in your email and other apps that you can use. I'm curious to see how that will be. But with the Gemini Nano, my experience with Gemini Nano is it's not a good one because one, it was wildly inaccurate on some things, and I need something to be done about it very quickly. Now, I've had examples where it was very inaccurate in reading what was on my screen or just giving me the right answers to questions. But Google did add new AI features to the Pixel, like Pixel Screenshots, which is like Microsoft's recall feature that uses AI to track everything you do when you take screenshots on your phone. But unlike Microsoft, this one is voluntary. Now, if you want to keep track of something like an event you're planning or a recipe that you want to make for dinner, you can just take a screenshot and then have a conversation with Gemini Nano, and it's to just help you through everything. We also have the Pixel Studios app that comes installed with all Pixel devices. With this, you can create illustrations using text prompts, and it is also done on your device without any connection or even if your connection is slow. It takes about 4 seconds to actually produce a picture, which is really good. I'm not really sure who this is for, but we're in that AI era where everything just needs an app. Now, also Magic Editor has a new reimagined feature where you can also use text prompts to visually change what is in your picture, slightly or even drastically. I saved the best one for last, and in my opinion, this is the most mind-blowing one, and it is called Add Me. This lets you take pictures without having to ask a stranger around you to take a picture of you and the person you're with. So you take a picture, hand it over to your friend, and step in the same place they were in. Then the Pixel uses an AR overlay to guide the framing, and boom, it looks like you guys took the picture at the same time. Google continues to blur that line between what is real and what is fake, but this one has the best use case in my everyday life. And with all this, Google is promising 7 years of software and security updates. How long this will last or how far this will go, only time will tell. Okay, let's talk about the cameras, and this might just be the most important category. Now, the Pixel 9 Pro has a new front-facing camera that is 42 megapixels. Then at the back, we have a 50 megapixel wide-angle lens, a 48 megapixel ultra-wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto lens, and that is arguably the same specs from last year. The 15 Pro Max also has 3 cameras, a 48 megapixel wide-angle, and a 12 megapixel telephoto and ultra-wide lens. Generally, both have the ability to take great pictures. Color accuracy and dynamic range is pretty up there bar for bar. And in terms of color profile, the iPhones have more of a warmer tone while the Pixels have more of a cooler color temperature. Shooting with the wide-angle sensor, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is more vibrant and adds more saturation than the 9 Pro XL. Both are great or give great detail, and I think this all comes down to preference with how it looks and feels. The telephoto lens is a very fun lens to have, but the Pixel and its image taking software plus having that bigger lens just gives it more of an edge. I also prefer the background blur on the Pixel, but then again, you can just edit it to however you want it to look. The ultra wide lens on the Pixel allows in more light, so under low lights it does a better job than the iPhone in my opinion. And when it comes to video, the 9 Pro XL can now shoot up to 8K with video boost on, which is great in theory, but in reality it's not the most practical thing because not many people, like me for example, remember to even use video boost. And even when you do use it, it takes about 30 minutes to an hour depending on what you shot for video boost to be applied to your video, and who really has time for that? I think even with video boost on, it doesn't still beat the 15 Pro Max because the 15 Pro Max can shoot in a log profile, so automatically it's just better. You can honestly use the 15 Pro for content and some people won't even know the difference. But looking at it very critically, the 9 Pro XL is a big step up from the Pixel 8 Pro. It upgraded the design, the battery life, the display, the performance with a lot of AI features. However, is this better than the iPhone 15 Pro Max? You guys should let me know down in the comments. In the next coming days, I'll be testing out the Pixel 9 Pro, the 9 Pro XL, and even the smaller Pixel with a lot of other devices. So let me know what you guys would like to see. Thank you guys for watching. My name is KJ, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.